world flooded by endless pleasure where attention is currency and desire is addiction, there stands a man, not a monk, not a martyr, but a seeker and a builder. And his journey begins with a single decision made in silence to retain and rise. It starts with restlessness and a trembling urge crawling underneath the surface of skin. The body is used to surrender while the mind is addicted to fleeting release. But today, you choose to hold your fire and walk into the forge. No angels descend to bless you, and no trumpets sound to cheer your name, but something ancient stirs inside. Your blood, like a drum echoing through time by the third day energy, swells inside your core and climbs up your spine. Your voice grows firmer than it ever was, and your eyes hold steady fire. You feel more awake, but temptation follows. Like a shadow whispering for surrender. Old habits crawl from the grave, demanding comfort and pleasure without consequence. This is the week of war between dopamine dreams and the call to devotion. Between craving what numbs you and choosing what sharpens you into something dangerous. Survive this, and a new man starts to breathe behind your familiar skin. 14 days in, and the fog begins to lift from your mind. Think faster and sharper, and you speak with greater weight and presence. Tasks that once drained you now fall beneath your growing will with ease. Your brain recalibrates its patterns as testosterone climbs without apology or end. Dopamine receptors heal and attention strengthens like a soldier returning to his post. You no longer chase fleeting pleasure because now you're building real presence. But at around the third week, the shadows you buried begin to awaken, old emotions rise again like ghosts. You locked in rooms years ago, anger emerges like fire, and sadness echoes like thunder in your bones. Loneliness walks beside you, not to break you, but to cleanse you instead. This is emotional detox, not weakness, and your spirit begins to unfold. The body stores memory, intention, and retention starts unlocking the locked doors. You begin to walk differently, and people start noticing without knowing. Why? Your eyes now carry weight, and your presence becomes unshakably grounded and still. You are holding the seed of life itself, and the world responds silently. Women glance longer, and strangers respect more, though you do not ask them to. Because you are not louder now, but your energy whispers something rare and rooted. You dream deeper, and ideas begin arriving in flashes during early mornings. You wake up with a new urge to build, to write, and to create. This is the fire rising, and it doesn't beg it simply burns upward. Sexual energy is no longer chained to lust, because now it fuels vision. Many men relapse here because they confuse pressure with lust and get lost again. But what you feel is not lust, it is power waiting to be aimed. 3 months in, and you have walked through storms without applause or reward. You have faced your shadows and won quiet battles no one will ever see now. You command your mind, and your distractions shrink beneath your focus. Your sense of purpose sharpens like a blade, and life begins to align. This is when your mission reveals itself not as a shout, but a whisper. People start asking if something changed, though they can't quite name what it is. They don't know why, but you do, because you've crossed the first gate. Now you stand on the bridge between the man you were and the king within. You are not just retaining anymore, because now you are transmuting daily. The seed becomes vision, and lust transforms into a deeper kind of leadership. Loneliness fades as it becomes legacy, and silence becomes strength again. Your spiritual perception deepens until synchronicities start appearing everywhere you go. Nature begins to speak with signs and silence, and you begin to listen. This is when the warrior becomes still, not because he is weak, but because he is grounded like a mountain refusing to move. You walk alone now, not in isolation, but in full command of self. Temptation no longer controls you, and your choices finally come from clarity. Your yes begins to carry weight because it is forged in self-respect. You speak less, but your presence says more in every room you enter. You begin to build and lead and serve, not from hunger but from fullness. You become a shelter for others because you no longer seek one yourself. Women feel safe around you not because you chase them or please them, but because you no longer need them to feel whole and complete. This is masculine sovereignty, without noise, without show, and without false strength. 1 year and 365 days have passed since your first choice. You are no longer the same because you no longer need to be. You do not chase anymore because now you magnetize through energy and mission. You no longer leak. Energy everywhere because now you pour it with intention. Pour it into purpose, into people, into building something that lasts beyond you. And here is the secret they never told you at the start. Semen retention is not about avoiding sex or fear of desire. It is about becoming so aligned that you choose release, not crave it. You became the storm when you held your fire without flinching in silence. You became the stillness when your spirit no longer flinched in the wind. You became the man that even your younger self would follow without question. You became unstoppable. This journey is not for every man because not every man hears the call. But if something ancient stirred in your bones while listening, then it is time not to repress or run, but to rise and take your place. Begin with one day, and let your legacy begin from within.